This is used by people of all ages, especially the younger ones who have no fear of using the phone to get virtual care. And folks, you should not have any fear of getting virtual care with whole person virtual care. Why? Because you're talking to an actual provider. These are people you're talking to. It's not AI, and you're going to get the care. By the way, when you use the app, 96% of the time, that first reach out that you make, you're going to be diagnosed and treated. 96% of the time.
Incredible.
It is.
Incredible. So who uses the plan? By sex. Females use it 68% of the time. Male uses it 32% of the time. What does this tell me, Mike and Leanne? What this tells me is women use the plan a lot, and it may not only be for them, because women are typically taking care of the kids. So females are using the plan a lot more, the program a lot more, because they're using it for themselves and they're calling or using it for their children, right? So that's why we see there's such a big delta between that statistic. Now, folks, the next image you're going to see is a statistic on when the plan is used. Okay, and I want you. Yeah, huge, right, Michael? Leanne, this is crazy. So of calls that came in, all right, I looked at the data. All of the calls that came in, after hours utilization was huge. So between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. in the morning, 23% of the calls came in on over 5,400 people. What does that tell me? What does it tell you? It says, yes, people need the plan all of the time. Your child wakes up at 2 o'clock in the morning coughing, or there's an issue with an earache, or whatever the issue is. 23% of the calls come in between 9 and 6 a.m. So, Mike, anytime, right? That anytime doc thing, nobody takes care of the patients the way that these providers do after hours. And for those of you that are listening and thinking about your employers, this is an important statistic for your employer. Why? Because if you did not have this program and you went to the emergency room in the middle of the night, you're not going to be on point the next day at work. You may be calling in late. And if your employer's self-insured, guess what this plan just did for them? Remember that statistic a few minutes ago where the entry point to get into the emergency room is $4,000?
Yep.
Well, yes, your employer would have paid that if you were self-employed. You just saved your employer $4,000. So for every visit that's avoided to go to the emergency room. The last statistic is very important. And again, what this simply shares, Mike and Leanne, is the fact that for every employee that's covered, or for every member that buys an individual membership for themselves, they're covering dependents, whether it's a spouse or whether they're covering multiple children like Leanne has her triplets. It's an incredible tool. It makes care. This truly makes care accessible and affordable, and you have the confidence and comfort of knowing there's a doc in your back pocket, Michael.